In this uncertain world, you can never be too sure what tomorrow may bring. So it's always good to know you've got a little something put by. We all like the feeling of security this gives us, but is it enough? Is your money working hard enough for you? Are you getting the best possible return on your savings? With so many different ways of saving around these days, it isn't difficult to make your money work harder. And it helps if you understand the options so that you can plan the best course of action. A bit like planning a fitness programme for your money. But be careful. Don't commit to any new savings and investments without seeking professional financial advice. Like having a proper checkup before starting any fitness programme, it can save you problems later. People go to a gym for all kinds of reasons. Getting fit, keeping fit, losing weight, bodybuilding. But one way or another, they all want to improve their performance. And we all have different reasons for saving and investing our money. And we all want it to perform well. The tricky part is knowing what to do with our money so that it works hardest and turns in the best performance to satisfy our particular needs. So just what are those needs likely to be? What are we saving for? Well, as we said, in this uncertain world, we're all looking to guard against too many nasty surprises. So the first thing most of us think about when it comes to saving is saving for a rainy day. Whether that's just a leaking roof or the central heating going wrong or something worse like losing your job, it's protection against anything that's, well, unexpected. Then we save to help manage regular expenses, gas, electricity, phone bills, and so on. And we save up for those one-off major expenses like next year's holiday or that new car. We may plan those kind of expenses a year or so ahead, but what about the future? Perhaps you're saving for that once-in-a-lifetime trip to visit a close relative in Australia. Or maybe you can foresee family events like an 18th or 21st birthday, or a wedding. Things which may be several years away, but which can make a considerable dent in family finances when they happen. And there are two more very popular reasons for saving and investing. One is simply to make our money grow, or to give us an additional income. The other is to allow us eventually to retire without giving up our standard of living. Because if we want to stop working and be able to enjoy all that free time, we need to plan for our retirement. But one thing's for certain, your money won't grow if you just hide it under the mattress or lock it away. You've got to get it out there and make it work hard. The most popular ways to save or invest money to make it work hard for you are bank and building society savings accounts and saving and investment schemes based on the stock market. But how can you tell which one will make your money work the hardest for you? Well, you can't. Not until you understand a little more about the different ways of saving and investing. At banks and building societies, you can expect to get steady, predictable performance from various types of savings account. Some will give you a modest return on your savings for the benefit of letting you get at your money quickly when you need it, which could be a good idea for paying regular expenses. But others, if you're prepared to restrict access to some of your savings to 30, 60, or even 90 days, will give you better performance in the shape of higher interest rates, which you might find suits you if you're thinking of saving for a major expense or just for a rainy day. You'll also find something called a TESA, or a tax-exempt special savings account. TESAs are a government savings initiative which produce their best performance over 5 years. You can save up to £3,000 in the first year and then up to £1,800 a year to a total of £9,000 over the full 5 years. And so long as you don't touch your capital during the 5 years, all your interest comes tax-free. Which means your money doesn't just work harder, you get to keep it all instead of having to give some of it to the taxman. So a TESA might fit the bill if you're thinking about saving for a major expense or for a future event. Term deposits are designed for people who want to invest a lump sum over a fixed period or term of 1 to 5 years, like some types of national savings, for instance. This type of saving can also deliver a pretty impressive performance. And generally speaking, the longer you leave a deposit, the better it performs. You can choose between deposits offering a return which is fixed throughout the term and those in which the return, although always guaranteed to be higher than basic interest rates, is variable because the rate's allowed to go up or down in line with interest rates generally. A professional financial advisor will be able to help you decide which type of deposit would suit your needs best. But either way, because some schemes require you to leave your money untouched until the fixed term is up, you should expect to earn a higher rate of interest than you would with an ordinary savings account. So a term deposit could be an attractive option if you've got a lump sum to invest and you're happy to restrict your access to your money in order to help it work harder. Savings and investment schemes based on the stock market can often turn in an outstanding performance. But on the stock market, you don't earn interest in the way you do with savings accounts, so your return isn't usually guaranteed. Because your money's invested in what in financial circles they call equities and what the rest of us call stocks and shares, any increase in the value of your investment, your return, is dependent on those shares rising in value, which is why it's not guaranteed. As you've probably heard before, the value of shares can go down as well as up. But you may well feel the potentially high returns you can get from investing in the stock market make it an attractive proposition for some, but probably not all of your savings. So what are the options? One of the safer ways for a small investor to invest in and enjoy some of the benefits of the stock market is through unit trusts. There are many different types of unit trust on the market, so it's a good idea to take advice before choosing one. Some are designed to make your money grow and some to provide income, but basically they all work in much the same way. You invest by buying units in a very large fund or pool of money. This fund is managed by experts who use their experience and judgment to reinvest the money on your behalf. The benefit of unit trusts is that this money is spread across such a wide range of different companies' shares that if the value of any of the individual shares goes down, don't worry. Because overall, the majority of the shares can be expected to increase in value. So unit trusts may be a great way to make part of your savings work really hard, since on average they tend to perform well. But don't forget, performance is never guaranteed. What is guaranteed, however, is that you won't lose your money with guaranteed equity bonds. In a similar way to term deposits, guaranteed equity bonds offer a guaranteed minimum return over a fixed term of usually 5 years. These are normally investments which take advantage of the growth in the stock market over a fixed term of 5 years, but which guarantee to give you your money back. If shares do badly, you've got the security of knowing that you won't lose your investment. But if shares do well, then you can expect to get a substantially higher return. So you may see guaranteed equity bonds as a good way of investing a lump sum, either to simply allow it to grow or with a view to paying for a major expense in the not too distant future. Then, of course, there are PEPs, personal equity plans. A PEP is a tax-efficient way of investing in shares or unit trusts. You can invest up to £6,000 in a general PEP in any tax year, either monthly or as a lump sum. On the whole, you should expect to see your money grow well in a PEP. Earnings come free of tax, which means that you, and not the taxman, are getting the most out of your investment. And you've always got access to your money if a rainy day occurs. But since it's usually best to regard any investment in shares as a medium to long-term commitment, you might see a PEP as a good way of saving for the future, of simply helping your money to grow, or of making some extra provision for your retirement. And finally, there are the long-distance runners of the savings world, life assurance savings plans and personal pensions. Life assurance savings plans operate over a term of, say, 10, 15, 20 or 25 years, during which you pay premiums and for which you get life insurance. At the end of the term, you get a lump sum, normally tax-free, the value of which depends on how well the underlying investments have performed. Although more often than not you'd pay the premiums monthly, there are also single premium plans in which you can invest a lump sum, like an inheritance or a redundancy payment. So life assurance savings plans can be an excellent way of saving for the medium to long term, perhaps for future family events or even for retirement. And if we're talking about retirement, then it's a pension which naturally springs to everyone's mind, or does it? It's quite surprising how many people fail to make adequate arrangements for their pension, even those who think they're secure in a company scheme. Yet some form of personal pension is one of the best ways of ensuring you keep up your standard of living after retirement. Generally, you get tax relief on all pension contributions, and when you retire, you can normally choose between receiving the full monthly pension you're entitled to, or a tax-free lump sum and a reduced monthly pension. Either way, the amount you actually get depends on how your pension fund has performed up to the time you retire, and on how much you've paid in, of course. It's important to realise that investments such as pensions, PEPs and life assurance carry charges. Your financial advisor will always explain these before you invest your money. Now you know a bit about the different ways of saving and investing, you're on the way to making your money work harder. The next step is to decide which of the ways match your own particular reasons for wanting to save. A professional financial advisor is the best person to help you take that decision, but you can make it easier for both of you if you already know the answers to a few simple questions. The first question was really our starting point. Why are you saving? What are you planning to do with your money? This is an important question because your answer to this one will affect how you answer all the others. So, next question. How much have you already saved? How much can you afford to save, and how do you want to save it? In other words, have you already got a lump sum to invest, and if so, how big is it? Or do you want to save on a monthly basis, in which case, how much can you afford to save? And it's important to ask yourself, do I need easy access to all my money? Don't forget that everyone needs access to some of their money to cover unexpected expenses. The question is, how much? If it isn't absolutely essential to be able to get all your money back at short notice, then generally speaking, the more restricted the access, the better the return. Then there's what sort of return do you want from your investment? Sounds like a silly question, doesn't it? You want the biggest one possible, of course. But what this really means is, do you want to play safe with a lower return where your capital is secure, or are you prepared to accept some risk for the chance of a higher return on your investment? Do you want income or growth from your savings? This is obviously an important question because some schemes are designed to generate the best possible regular income, whilst others, so long as they're left undisturbed, will allow a lump sum to grow in value. And finally, are you paying too much tax on your savings and investments? A question you're bound to want the answer to. And with so many tax-efficient schemes around now, the chances are, whatever your needs, you can find a better way of saving which avoids paying unnecessary tax. Whatever answers you give to those questions, it's likely that you'll want to save in more than one way. And you'll probably feel happiest balancing the easy access and a lower return on part of your investment with a chance of a higher but uncertain return on the rest. In fact, most people end up with a variety of different accounts, with each account satisfying a different reason for saving. Do remember though, it's important to get professional financial advice before making any decisions, but that it is only advice. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. Feel free to take time to think about the advice and don't be afraid to ask questions. But even when you've got your money working for you, it's not enough just to put your feet up and forget about it. It pays to keep an eye on your finances. As your circumstances change or new investment opportunities arise, you may want to move your savings around to make sure your money keeps working hard. If you'd like to know more about making your money work harder, talk to TSB. There are professional financial advisors in all our branches. You don't have to bank with us to talk to us.